Tonight on News 13.
The mayor welcomes newly elected city council members with his open door policy. I'll have that story.
A tight race in Mahanoy leads one candidate calling for a recount. We'll tell you why it might not even matter coming up.
A raid earlier this week was all about tracking down child porn. A Hazleton man in prison as a result.
This is News 13 Now.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to News 13 Now. I'm Kathy Bazinski. The relationship between Hazleton's mayor and current city council hasn't always been a positive one, but big changes will come to council after this week's election. As Christina Papa tells us, Mayor Joe Yanuzzi says he's planning to welcome council with an open door.
Change sometimes is good and sometimes is bad. And you never know that till you start to get interacting among yourselves and then really see where people are coming from.
Change is coming to city council, and while turnout was low at the polls,
Some of the wards only had 13% coming out, which is really, really poor.
Tuesday, incumbent Jack Mundy and newcomers David Sosar and Jeff Cassat received the most votes. They will join Gene Mope and Keith Bast on city council's board early next year.
Unexpected, but they did have a statement. They were getting rid of all the incumbents.
Hazleton's mayor Joe Yanuzzi believes the anti-incumbent ideas linked with low turnout and the Republican ticket only running 2 candidates for 3 seats affected the outcome.
2 great men, 2 dedicated people who tried their best, and you never know what the public's thinking.
While he's disappointed Jim Perry and Kevin Shatter were not reelected to the council, Yanuzzi says he's willing to work with the new council that the people voted for.
I'm glad to see there are some new people coming on. I'll make some changes, and hopefully we'll keep the city moving forward.
Yanuzzi has been criticized in the past for not attending city council meetings.
It's my option whether I go or not, and I choose not to go. I'm not going to go to a meeting that's going to turn into a brawl. You know, I don't need that. The city doesn't need that.
Newly appointed council member Cassat has already contacted the mayor. Yanuzzi says he's ready and willing to work with the council as long as it's not a replay of fighting matches in the past.
They all want to cooperate, and I've said before, my door's open, you know that. Anybody can come and see me when I have time.
The mayor says he may attend more meetings in the upcoming year only if the council is receptive to his presence. Christina Papa, News 13, Hazleton.
In Mahanoy City, one candidate for mayor is calling for a recount because he lost by barely a handful of votes. But can he even hold the office if he wins? Matthew Petrillo joins me live in the studio to sort of break it all down for us. Matthew?
That's right, Kathy. The mayoral candidate calling for a recall is Dennis Wiesner. He lost by just 3 votes, so recount does seem a practical step to take. But as his opponent points out, even if he were to win, state law bans him from taking any public office because he's a convicted felon.
There's 2 sides to every story, for one thing.
Voters this week re-elected Mahanoy Mayor Nancy Petrish back into her office for a second term. Petrish beat her Republican opponent, Dennis Wiesner, by just 3 votes.
I thought the margin would be a little wider.
Than 3 votes.
Than 3 votes, yes. But again, your vote does count. And, you know, all the more importance for people to realize they need to get out and vote in every election.
But Wiesner says not so fast.
I'm looking for a recount.
He says he wants to make sure every vote is counted.
The borough sees that they need a change.
For that change to happen, he needs more than just votes. He also needs to have a felony conviction removed from his record.
Having that felony record, he cannot assume the office anyway.
Wiesner says he committed the felony more than 40 years ago when he stole turkeys from a coop. He's now working to have it dropped.
I got a pardon sheet already headed towards the governor's desk. A quarter of it is already finished. So if the pardon comes about and I do win the race, there's not going to be no such thing as I can't take the seat.
Those are big ifs. Corbett's office didn't return calls to News 13, but it could take months for the pardon to happen. In the meantime, says Mayor Petrish, if he wants to get more involved in local government, he should participate in council meetings as a resident of the borough. How many council meetings have you been to over the past year?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. Not too many because nothing's ever said or anything's ever done there, so I haven't ever gone, you know, maybe 3, 4, 5 times.
Maybe just a handful of times?
Yeah, just a handful.
But you're still running for mayor, why?
Yeah. Well, I want to get the town back together again. You don't have to go to a council meeting to see that people are getting robbed, do you?
If you're elected mayor, do you plan on attending these meetings?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely, yeah, most definitely, sure. That's what it's all about.
But as a regular citizen, it's not important to
No,
you?
it's not important because nothing's being done at them anyway.
Isn't that the point of democracy, the point of going to these public meetings?
Yeah, if you can go to the meeting and something gets done, yeah, then a lot of people would go. There's not that many people go to these meetings anyway.
To that end, Petrus says all residents, not just elected borough officials, should attend public meetings, especially, Kathy, if they have any concerns about the borough.
Absolutely, and that final vote count, the actual official vote count, coming tomorrow in Schuylkill County.
Right.
Thanks a lot, Matthew. Well, police in Pottsville arrested 3 men whom they say abducted 2 teenage girls. Mohammed Khan, Victor Declet, and Nestor Hernandez, all from New York City, were taken into custody when Pottsville police pulled over a car with Virginia tags around 6 o'clock Tuesday night after it almost hit a pedestrian. The 14 and 15-year-old girls were in the back seat, and once they got out, started crying and told police the men grabbed and restrained them and carried them to the car. When police searched the car's trunk, they found 22 plastic bags containing marijuana and 1 bag of cocaine. All 3 men were charged with a slew of felony counts. They couldn't make bail and are all in the Schuylkill County Prison. A man from Pine Grove is in prison tonight after police discovered a meth lab that he had set up in Minersville. Corey Leninger is charged with manufacture of a controlled substance, operating a methamphetamine lab, and several drug and other charges. Police say the trail led to Leninger when an informant told them a woman who lived in the home at 311 Laurel Street tried to buy some of the ingredients needed to manufacture meth. They say they found plenty of meth manufacturing leftovers in trash bags outside the home. Could smell strange odors in the area. They got a search warrant and found a complete meth operation inside the home. The danger of a chemical explosion, a special response team was brought in to use protective suits and special equipment to clear the home. The area was blocked off as a precaution. After the raid, the home was condemned. Well, investigators now say that a raid on a home in West Hazleton earlier this week ended with the arrest of a Hazleton man on child pornography charges. Agents from the state attorney general's office say that they'd been investigating 22-year-old Michael Portanova of Hazleton for months when they traced his child pornography to his computer. They executed a search of his last address on North Broad Street but discovered he'd moved out. They then traced him to a business where he worked. Portanova admitted to investigators that he viewed child pornography on his computer and that he possibly downloaded more than 1,000 images or videos of pornography involving children from ages 1 to 10 years. Portanova was charged with a list of child porn-related charges. He's in the Luzerne County Correctional Facility tonight. Still ahead on News 13 now, the rain has pretty much moved on through. Now it's time to issue a snuggle alert. The temperature plunge in News 13 weather.
Could this new school that's set to open right here in the Hazleton Area School District help the overcrowding problem in the area? I'll have that story.
You're watching News 13 now, local and loving it. You're watching News 13 now on SSPTV, brought to you by Samson Productions and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
The number of students in the Hazleton Area School District continues to grow, and the district hopes construction on the new Maple Manor Elementary Middle School will hopefully accommodate them. As Christina Papa explains, the district says it's doing its best to fight the growing battle with overcrowding.
There are piles of bricks and construction material still on the property. Hazleton area officials held an architectural meeting today to talk about the future of the new Maple Manor Elementary Middle School adjacent from Hazleton Area High School.
We've done a lot of the demolition to the existing building, and we're starting to bring in the new infrastructure, including both mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, as well as prep the site for new building building additions.
Crabtree, Rohrbaugh, and Associates are actively working with the school district to complete the project that's running a little behind schedule.
We are currently approximately 90 days behind schedule, and we're working very hard to make that time up, but at this juncture, we are behind schedule.
Construction is still underway, but Dr. Antonelli says this school could be open as early as September. Once finished, the old Bishop Hayfie will be completely renovated and a new addition to the back of the school will be added. Superintendent Dr. Antonelli says the school has a capacity of 1,000 students.
Again, drawing from West Hazleton Heights, Arthur Street, and the Hazleton Elementary Middle School.
The school hopes Maple Manor will help alleviate overcrowding conditions so they can eventually remove trailers used as classrooms in the district.
The goal is by adding additional classroom space to the district, you can reduce the class size, which will translate to a higher quality of education moving forward.
Dr. Antonelli says the building is a necessity as the population of students in the area continues to grow.
We have grown specifically at the K to 5 level, we have seen since 08-09 an increase of over 400 students just at that level, the primary and intermediate elementary school level.
The school says while they have a rough estimate of the opening date for the school, they will ensure quality work so the district can be proud once the school opens. Christina Papa, News 13, Hazel Township.
Time now for News 13 weather.
And in tonight's weather shot, we're local and loving it in McAdoo, where it's a soggy day with plenty of splashing and spray from traffic as it travels along Route 309. But we all know as the day went on, that changed up a bit. Checking the National Weather Service radar, as you well know, lots of heavy rain overnight and through the morning as a front moves through, but now it clears out and our temperatures tumble. Here's News 13's weather from the National Weather Service. First for Greater Hazelton for tonight. Rain ending, becoming partly cloudy and cold with a low down to 28 degrees. Then for Friday, mostly sunny and windy, high up to 39. It's going to be clear at night, cold and chilly, 27 degrees. Saturday, partly sunny with a high near 42. Mostly cloudy at night with a low around 31 degrees. Then for Sunday, partly sunny with a high up to 48, but cold at night, low down to 29. And for Monday, which is Veterans Day, mostly sunny with a high near 47 degrees. And now heading to Schuylkill County tonight, partly cloudy and cold with a low around 31. For Friday, mostly sunny, high up to 45 degrees. Clear and cold at night, though, with a low around 28. For Saturday, partly sunny with a high about 47. It'll be mostly cloudy at night with a low down to 35. For Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 50, but overnight the temperature drops down to 31. And then for Monday, Veterans Day, mostly sunny with a high near 49 degrees. Well, downtown Pottsville getting a small facelift of sorts. An area businessman wants the community to come together to paint parking meters. Matthew Petrillo explains how he plans to turn the gray from drab to fab.
Market Street in downtown Pottsville is where people from all over come to hit the stores for fashion and fun.
It's one of the busiest shopping districts for the downtown.
Patrick Murphy of Murphy's Jewelers is also president of the Pottsville Parking Authority. He says the parking meters are in need of a makeover.
We have a lot of talent in this area, so we reached out to a lot of the great artists up there, and a lot of them have come forward, as well as the schools, and volunteered that we're going to paint all the meters in the 100 block and the 200 block of West Market Street in downtown Pottsville.
He says he hopes it attracts more shoppers and businesses to the area.
It was our way to get more interest and draw more attention to the beautiful downtown that we have.
And he says the artists are given full range to paint these. He says he hopes to complete the project by Christmas.
It's a lot of local people getting involved, and local artists, and also the business owners.
John Brock of Pottsville Bike and Board says he doesn't want the parking meters in front of his store just any color.
I think I need my parking meters zebra striped. Absolutely.
Do you think it's a good idea?
I do. I think it gives a little character to this town. It needs a little character.
Peter Russo of Roman Delight Pizza says he likes the positive changes happening around Pottsville.
Any improvement to the city is always good to have, you know, so we're looking forward to it. Anything helps the city out, can't beat it.
Murphy says it's a community effort.
When you believe in a town and you have your pride, and I grew up here all my life, and so I love to give back to the community as well. And this is another way of, helping our downtown as well as our beautiful city.
Matthew Petrillo, News 13, Pottsville.
And let's check the winning midday lottery numbers. Good luck if you play. The daily 783, the big 4 6461, Quinto 51719, and the treasure hunt 6 13 17 22 24. Hope you won.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, the Greater Shenandoah Area Chamber of Commerce will once again sponsor the Light Up the Park initiative for the holiday season. Businesses, civic organizations, other groups, and individuals can sponsor a tree to be lit for Thanksgiving. Also, the Chamber plans to have Santa at the park on December 7th. For more information, please call 570-462-0811. And finally, the Survivors After Suicide Support Group meets the second and fourth Thursday of each month. They have a new location, Sorrento Gardens in Hazleton, and will meet from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Anyone in need of support after the loss of a loved one is welcome to attend. For more info, please call 570-926-1302. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Eugene J. Soboleski of Hometown, Arrangements will be announced by the Stanley E. Anilowski Funeral Home. Virginia Yoakum of drums. Memorial is Sunday at 3 p.m. in the Faith Assembly of God Church. Friends may call Sunday from 2:30 to 3 p.m. The Harmon Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. Elizabeth M. Kowalchuk, formerly of Hazelton. Funeral is Saturday at 9 a.m. in the Christ the King Roman Catholic Church. Arrangements are under the direction of the Facillo and Warren Funeral Home in Manville, New Jersey. And Helen Super of Hazelton. Funeral is Saturday at 11 a.m. at the Hazel Chapel of the Crofton Hughes Funeral Home. Friends may call Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m.
This is News 13 Sports.
It's been 4 years since the Hazelton area Cougars qualified for the District 2 11 sub-regional playoffs, but without the Cougars, they still go on, and we've got some interesting matchups to tell you about. They're going to start over the weekend. Most of them are going to be on Friday. A couple of the games will be on Saturday. But if you take a look, there are 5 opponents of the Cougars. They play 10 who are in the district playoffs. Let's take a look, line them up, and show you what you might want to pay attention to this weekend. The number 1 seed is East Stroudsburg South. It's a team that the Cougars gave a run for their money. Coming out of the Mountain Valley Conference, they do have the top seed, and they're going to draw a team that the Cougars played on opening night, the Scranton Knights. That game will be up in the Poconos at East Stroudsburg, and we'll see what happens. That one will be a Friday night affair. Easton and Wyoming Valley West will get together at Spartan Stadium. Again, that'll be on Friday. Parkland and Stroudsburg, Pleasant Valley and Whitehall are the rest of your matchups. Whitehall is the number 2 seed, so you got East Stroudsburg as the number 1 in the top half of the bracket. Whitehall is the number 2 in the bottom, but don't get excited about those because not everybody's playing the same schedule, and you get the points not on strength of schedule, but on the, is it a quad A or a triple A? So we will see. Speaking of the triple A, on opening night, you had a game between Berwick and Crestwood. Berwick dominated it. Well, Crestwood gets a second crack at them. This one is going to be played on Saturday. It'll be at Crispin Field starting at 1 o'clock. The Comets and the Berwick Bulldogs, Berwick, they pulled down the number 1 seed. In the other half of the bracket, you got a real good game here. Abington Heights, Scranton Prep. Scranton Prep has the number 2 seed because they beat Abington Heights during the season, so this is the rematch. Both of those teams are very formidable, but one will bow out and one will move on, most likely playing the Berwick Bulldogs, but hey, we'll see. Don't count Crestwood out, I guess. Let's go down to the brackets in the Eastern Conference. Southern Lehigh takes on the Pottsville Crimson Tide. Lehighton and Bethlehem will tangle at Bethlehem School District Stadium. You got on the AA level, Nanticoke and Northwestern Lehigh, North Schuylkill and North Penn. District 11 Single A playoffs, couple of Schuylkill teams all over the place. Monoy and Nativity, Muncie and Marion. Marion pulls down the number 3 seed. They'll be on the road traveling to Muncie. Speaking of on the road, that's where the Washington Redskins will be tonight. They'll be in the Dome in downtown Minneapolis, taking on the Vikings, who are looking to see if they could get win number 2 on the season. That's your Thursday night game. National Hockey League, Flyers skating at home with the Devils, Islanders down in Carolina, and the Rangers are out in Ohio to take on Columbus. Speaking of hockey, you had Syracuse and Wilkes-Barre Penguins last night, and it was Syracuse getting by with the win 4-3. So the Pens will be back in action tomorrow. They'll take on Albany. They're still off to a very impressive start in the early days of the American Hockey League.
Welcome to this week's What's Cool in School, and we're going to start off a little differently this week. We're going to start with an alumni, Mr. Dvorak. You're an original from back in the day, McAdoo, right?
I graduated in 1949.
And you did something special for the school when they had this new edition put on. What did you do?
Well, Mr. Marnell got in touch with me. Well, he wanted the president of the alumni, would happen to be me at the time, and they had a new edition put on. And I came here when the first basketball game that they started to meet Mr. Marnell. And he explained that he would like to get the McAdoo trophies up here in this school if possible. And I told him there's a condition on doing it. that they would, in the beginning, they were thrown away in a dumpster. And the mayor at that time, he went in dumpster, pulled them out, and retrieved them for us. And we had a display case we had built, repaired them, and we had them in the Wells Fargo Bank here in Hazleton, and they displayed them for quite a few years.
What does it mean to you to have these trophies back here in the original school?
There's no, you can't explain it. It's our pride, it's our joy to have this remembered. Because the younger kids nowadays, they don't know what McAdoo High School was. Since this new school district got together, they forgot about the McAdoo Maroons.
Well, we're actually going to go speak with some of those students who are here at the school today.
Good.
We're going to see if they know what where those trophies came from. So thank you so much, and let's go hang out with the kids. I'm here with kids at McAdoo Clares Elementary and Middle School. These are all 8th graders, but they're all also sports. You guys all play sports at the school, right? You're basketball players. We have some track and field players over here. But all these trophies behind us, where are these trophies from?
These were trophies from the original McAdoo High School, and they got thrown away when the schools combined. So
that was a while ago, and then so all of these really cool trophies were thrown away, and then what happened? Someone found them, right?
And they restored them, and they put them in the school to be seen by all the other students. Once they put the new edition on, they thought it'd be inspiring to put all the other trophies and memorabilia too.
What do you think about it? Is it cool?
It's interesting. It's nice to see that we did well, and hopefully we could do just as well.
Yeah, definitely. So what do you guys think about it? I know there's a lot more trophies in this case. Right over there is all the new trophies for the kids that are going to school now. What do you think about all these old trophies?
I think it's really exciting to see all the old history that happened in the McAdoo High School.
You think you can gain as many trophies as they did?
Yes.
Definitely. All right. And what do you think about over here? These are old, probably basketball uniforms in the past. If you had to wear something like that, what do you think?
I think if I had to wear a uniform like that, I'd probably end up quitting the team because I don't think I can see myself wearing that.
No. Maybe it's just a little bit different than in the past. What do you think? But it's pretty cool. I agree. And really cool. And hopefully that trophy case over there will be filled just as much in 50 years or so, because that's probably how long it took. For this week's What's Cool in School, I'm Christina Papa. We'll see you next week.
Plenty more news and information headed your way on News 13 now. More on the 3-vote margin that separates candidates in a local race for mayor. That story and much more news when the 13 crew comes right back.